Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this episode 3755 AN. Today's date is October 19th, 2025, and the title of the episode is Deep State Central Bank Pushes Stock Market Decline Narrative. Trump Begins the Energy Revolution. Let me ask you a question. Do you struggle with tingling, numbness, or painful sensations in your hands or feet? There's new research showing that a tiny seed may hold the key to lasting relief. Backed by 33 years of clinical studies, doctors have found this seed helps restore health, nerve function, relieving pain, numbness, and tingling, while also supporting balanced blood sugar levels. For years, this natural breakthrough was buried by Big Pharma, hidden away to protect their profits, but now a maverick doctor has rediscovered his power, and he's making it available to the public. Imagine what it would feel like to finally walk without pain, sleep without burning or tingling in your feet, and get back the comfort you thought you'd lost. To see exactly how this works, just scan the QR code on your screen or go to myprimal.life/X22. Don't wait. Find out how this tiny seed could help switch off nerve pain starting today, or just click the link in the description. Let's get right into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the deep state, the corrupt politicians, the private West Central Bank, the World Economic Forum, you can see they're already beginning the stock market decline narrative. And I do believe this is what they're going to be pushing from this point moving forward, because I do believe the shutdown is going to last for quite a while, probably very close to 60 days or maybe up to 60 days. So this way, Trump can permanently fire the individuals. Remember, Trump now is cutting government. He's basically removing all the bloat that the central bankers, the deep state players, had put into place. And to do this, yes, people are going to be fired because, again, most of these agencies we do not need. All these people that are in government, we do not need. And eventually, when the tariff system is fully operational, it's operational right now, but when it's fully operational, that is going to be supporting the very small government. And once again, you could see already Trump is moving in that direction. And as the deep state players, the central bankers, try to bring down their own system, and remember, they were going to bring down their own system no matter what, if Trump was in office or not in office, because they understand that their system can't be kicked down the road any longer. They don't have the ability to do it anymore. And you could see that with everything that's happening right now, they are now trapped in all this. And the only way forward is to bring down their own system and try to blame it on Trump. But that is not working because the people of this country, they understand that he is not causing the shutdown. They're not blaming him. They're actually blaming the D's. So this entire economy failing is not going to work like it kind of worked during COVID. Remember when the market started to come down? Remember when everything was shut down artificially? And they said it was all Trump's fault. The economy's not working. Well, basically, everyone just went home. And then when the businesses were allowed to open again, everyone went back to the businesses. And basically, as Biden took over, what happened? He lost jobs. And then he had to fake the numbers to make it seem like he was creating jobs. So really, he is the one who destroyed the economic system. And the Fed went along with it and went along with all the fake numbers. But you could see in the long run, as they push the destruction of their own system, Trump is creating a new system, and he's about to unleash the energy revolution. And this energy revolution is going to make energy prices come down like we've never seen before, which is going to spur economic activity. And it's going to put money back in the people's pockets. When we get into 2026, everything that he is setting up right now, people are going to start to realize, and they're going to start to feel it and understand it, that this economy is going to boom and it's going to accelerate like we've never seen before. Remember, he's been pulling us out of the Biden/Obama/Federal Reserve recession. He is now bringing us to the next place. And you can see the Federal Reserve, they are trapped in all this, and they're going to have to cut rates. Now, again, they're now stopping they're now discontinuing, I should say, the tightening, and they're trying to make long-term rates go up while they're slowly cutting the short-term rates. And you can see this is their strategy right now. In the long run, it's not going to work because actually, as energy prices really start to come down and the manufacturers set up shop and jobs are created in this country like we've never seen before, all the financial talking heads and everyone else, everything that they've been saying is going to fail. I mean, think about it. When he first mentioned tariffs All they can say is runaway inflation. It's going to be a disaster. The Fed was waiting for the inflation. It's coming. Don't worry. Any minute now. Actually, the inflation was here under Biden slash Obama. That's when the inflation was here. And remember, when the inflation went all the way up to 9%, it never went away. It's cumulative. So everything that people have been experiencing, it's because of Biden slash Obama. Trump stopped it and said, okay, we can't add any more inflation. He brought the inflation rate all the way down. And now it's pretty much non-existent. And the inflation that they've been talking about with the tariffs, nobody is seeing it. And now what people are going to experience with energy prices coming way, way down, and we'll explain that in just a sec, people are going to see that, wait a minute, everything's getting cheaper in the supermarket because delivery costs have come down. Airline tickets are going to come down. Electricity costs are going to come down. Filling up your car is going to be a lot cheaper. People are going to have a lot more money in their pocket. And we can't continue on with the central bank system because it just doesn't work. And everything that they put together is a complete and utter illusion to convince you that there are control mechanisms. And there aren't. Because if there truly were control mechanisms, they wouldn't continually raise the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is worthless. It doesn't do anything. We might as well not even have it. Because if we truly hit the debt ceiling, the last 12, 13 times, we would have never spent any more money because the debt ceiling would have been raised. But they go ahead and raise it anyhow because they have to. See, under a central bank system, it's completely and utterly impossible to not raise the debt ceiling. They put the debt ceiling in there to trick you, and this is what the Federal Reserve did, to trick you. Of course, they forced their deep state people to say, hey, we need a debt ceiling. This is going to convince people that, don't worry, Congress has everything under control. This doesn't work whatsoever. I mean, think about it. Just like your own household. If you continually added credit over your entire life and say, okay, just more credit, and your income didn't go up, just keep adding more and more credit. And, oh, look, we're going to have to raise the debt ceiling in our family. So instead of $20,000 worth of credit, let's raise it to $25,000. Now let's raise it to $30,000. What would happen? The whole family structure would just collapse because you wouldn't be able to pay for it. That's what's happening in this country. And the central bank knew this. They understood that it would never, ever work. And now, what is Trump doing? He's cutting everything. Now, of course, to keep whatever we have left, this bloat that we have, you still have to borrow. You still need to keep everything running. And this is why the debt is going to continually go up. But eventually what's going to happen, I do believe Trump, like we said on Thursday, he's going to basically pay off the debt. And actually, that is going to reverse everything the private central bank system has done. That's the only way to get rid of this inflation, is to return the currency to the private corporation and then start a new currency, a sound money currency, and give the buying power back to the people. And if you look at the debt right now, you can see it really took off. Now, I don't know if you know this. You're not investing. You're being used. Wall Street, Washington, the Fed, they don't care about your future. They care about control. And as they push their agenda forward, they'll take everything they can from you. Your retirement, your portfolio, your freedom, all of it. The only way to protect yourself is to stop playing their rigged game and untether your wealth from the system they control before it's too late. The simplest way, move your money into a universal asset they can't print, freeze, or devalue. That asset is gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can roll over your retirement into real physical gold and silver. Wealth that's beyond their reach and in your hands. Go to x22gold.com right now to get your free wealth protection kit. That's x22gold.com. Noble Gold, helping you break free and take back control. Or just click the link in the description. And remember, past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions. When? 2008. And it's been going up and up and up and up, and you just can't stop it because this is what they call runaway debt right now, just like when you see runaway inflation. Kobisi letter on X put this out and said, total U.S. public debt has hit a record of $37.9 trillion. This marks a plus $400 billion jump this month, or plus $25 billion per day. Federal debt has now surged plus $1.7 trillion since the debt ceiling was raised in July, rising over plus $425 billion every month. At the current pace, the total debt would hit a record of $40 trillion as soon as 2026. As a result, the debt to GDP ratio now stands at 124%, the highest since 2021, and near the 2020 record. The U.S. debt crisis have reached unprecedented levels. And once again, the debt, yes, you can slow it down just like inflation. But again, to get rid of all this, you really need to pay it all off. And I think this is what Trump is now moving toward. Now, remember, the central bank does not want this to happen, because when people start to see that, wait a minute, he's paying off their debt and the debt's getting lower and lower and lower. I think he's going to do it all at once, but let's say he's doing it in increments and it's getting lower and lower and lower. And people are seeing that their buying power is coming back. The dollar is worth a lot more money. You could purchase a lot more with the dollar. And actually, it's not even a US dollar, it's a Federal Reserve note. People are going to become wise to what's happening here. They're going to start to understand, wait a minute, it's the Federal Reserve, it's the debt. You see, they don't want anyone to see this. So what are they going to try to do? Of course, what they always do. They're going to try to bring the economic system down. They're going to try to blame it on Trump. They're going to try to use the shutdown, which they're doing right now. And you can see Market Watch has already started the narrative. Here's one of the articles. Sell signs are showing up in the stock market, but this number matters most. And they're saying, hey, it's time to worry. Here's the other one. Jerome Powell may have just given stock investors a new reason to be worried. And remember, the Fed is now ending the quantitative tightening, and they're moving in a different direction because holding the rates where they were wasn't working. Trump put way too much pressure on Jerome Powell. Now they're moving to a different strategy. And again, what happens when this occurs and you end the tightening? The market is going to come down. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to force it to come down. And we could see already the Fed has already said, yeah, we'll do another quarter point. We'll cut the rates. And you could see their strategy now. It's becoming clearer and clearer every single day. But again, you have to remember, Trump now, he is building the parallel economic system. He's competing with the Federal Reserve, and he's making deals all over the place. And yes, he's building the foundation for the new economic system. And the new economic system, when the new foundation is built and you start to see the manufacturers here in this country and they're building their manufacturing plants. And remember, building the manufacturing plants, you're going to create a lot of jobs. A lot of construction jobs are going to be created. Plus, he's getting other countries to buy our products. So the countries are on standby. They're just waiting for the products to be made. So they're going to start purchasing the products. And you can see that Trump now has I think he's going to make a deal with Argentina. Remember, Trump now is helping Argentina. They didn't go to the IMF. They actually went to the United States. And Trump has been talking about a new beef deal where we're going to see beef prices come down. And just like with eggs, he was able to bring egg prices down. I do believe what he's going to do is going to be making a deal with Argentina, and maybe we'll be getting beef from Argentina to help out. Because if you look here in the United States, what did the deep state players try to do here? They tried to get rid of the cattle industry here that created the beef in this country. And when you look at it, it's been in decline for a very long time. So to supplement all this, we're going to need beef from another country. And I think he's going to be making a deal with Argentina until we can get the cattle herd back up to where it was, going all the way back to the 70s. And remember, they forced everyone away from meat. Meat is really actually good. I'm talking about beef, is actually very, very good for you. Has a lot of vitamins, a lot of nutrients. Actually, basically in the health industry, they kind of tricked the people, just like they tricked everyone with inflation. They tricked everyone with debt. They tricked everyone with the central bank system. These deep state players, they've been tricking people for a very long time. But you can see now Trump is putting everything back on track to where we were prior to the central bank system. Slowly but surely, actually, I think he's moving very, very quickly because, again, you have to remember, think about how long it took the central bank to bring us to where we are today. I think Trump now is moving at lightning speed, actually, to bring us back to where we were before the central bank system. And you can see that now he is lowering the gas prices. What did he have to do? He had OPEC actually produce a lot more oil. I think people are now starting to see that fuel prices are starting to come down in many, many different states. One place I saw fuel at $2.59 a gallon. Absolutely amazing compared to what Biden did. And remember, Trump now is bringing us back to where fuel prices were when he left the White House back in 2020. Because remember, in many places, fuel was below $2 a gallon. I do believe we're going to be heading there, and it's going to go even lower than that. Why? Because Trump is going to start a energy revolution. But Patrick DeHaan put this out and said, as of 4 p.m., GasBuddy Fuel Insights is showing that national average price of gasoline has fallen below $3 a gallon now. And even in New York, you could see fuel prices are in many places below $3 a gallon, or very, very close to $3 a gallon. So we're going to see this continue. And if you look at some of the states in the Midwest or in the South, you could see that fuel prices are much, much lower. It depends on how many taxes and everything else the states are doing. If you look at California, they're not even close. But Trump now is going to start an energy revolution. And he's preparing to reopen the Alaska Wildlife Refuge for oil drilling. Now, during the time that he spent in the White House, he was prepared and ready to go full throttle with drilling for oil in Alaska. And what happened when Biden came in? He reversed the whole thing. So basically, the Trump administration is preparing to allow oil and gas leasing across the entire Arctic National Wildlife Refuge coastal plain, a wilderness landscape that has been protected for more than 4 decades. Now, you have to ask the question, why were they protecting it? Because they didn't want any oil drilling here whatsoever. They wanted us to be dependent on other countries. That's why they did this. And now Trump, he promised to advance drilling in the 1.56 million acre expanse of the tundra on Alaska's North Slope. And once again, you could see that he was ready to do this back in 2017, but it was halted by Biden. Because what were they trying to push? They were trying to push solar, wind, electric cars. And now Trump is going to reverse this. And as he does this, we're going to see oil prices really start to come down. And this is not the only place. You're going to see it across the country because we have liquid gold under our feet. And we're not going to be dependent on any other country. Actually, what's going to happen is you're going to see oil competition because the United States will be able to compete with OPEC in the end. And you're going to see fuel prices come way, way down. And I do believe we're going to go way below $2 a gallon. And when this occurs, you're going to see prices come down on many, many products. You're going to see manufacturers here, they're going to be able to produce with low energy costs. You're going to see airline prices come down. And eventually, as Trump chips away at the Federal Reserve and actually weans us off the Federal Reserve, you're going to see the buying power come back to the people. And when the buying power comes back to the people, everything is going to seem cheaper because when you give people back their money, they can use that money to purchase. And when people are getting their money back, people are happy because like, okay, now I have an extra 10,000, I have an extra 5,000, I have an extra 20,000. This is incredible. When I go to the pump, instead of, $30, $40, $50 to fill up my car, some people a lot more than that, it only costs me $15 or $12 to fill up the car. The world looks very, very different when that happens. And this is what we're going to see in 2026. Trump is just setting everything up right now. He's building the foundation, just like with a building. Once the foundation is built, it goes up very, very quickly. And every day you could see Trump is making more and more deals. And I do believe that the financial institutions, they're understanding what's coming. They get that they're going to have to get on board or be left out in the cold. And you can see a lot of the financial institutions, they're now taking on cryptocurrency. They weren't taking on cryptocurrency before because they were told not to. Now with Trump going all in on crypto, I do believe very soon he's going to be going all in gold, but he's got to wait for the right moment at the right time. Remember, optics are very, very important because gold is going to destroy the Fed. You can see a lot of financial institutions right now, they're taking on Bitcoin. They're allowing their customers to add Bitcoin and to trade in Bitcoin. And the latest is Charles Schwab. 11.23 trillion Charles Schwab plans to launch spot Bitcoin and crypto trading in 2026. So everything is about to change in this country. And I do believe people are going to be able to use Bitcoin. People are going to be able to use gold, silver. Yes, it will be attached to the US dollar, not the Federal Reserve note. And I do believe in the end, we're going back to the Constitution and we're going to see sound money return And the Federal Reserve, that is going to be completely and utterly restructured into the Treasury. And once this occurs, the entire economic system changes. Actually, when Trump says we're going to see the golden age, people are going to actually feel the golden age. They're going to experience the golden age. It's not just going to be something like, hey, look, it's the golden age. You're going to go into a store and you're going to say, holy crap, look at this. My buying power is so powerful right now. I remember when I had to pay $20 or $30 for this. Now it's only $5 or $3 or $2. That's the difference people are going to see once we get off the Federal Reserve. Once Trump pays off the debt in this country, we're going to see what a true economic system feels like without the Federal Reserve. And once people feel this in 2026, I'm not saying the entire debt is going to be paid off, but he's going to wean us off the Federal Reserve. The buying power is going to be brought back to the people. Once people feel this in 2026, people are going to say, okay, we need more of this because life is fantastic. There are jobs all over the place. Manufacturing's happening in this country. And actually, as people get their buying power back and people don't have to pay their income taxes and they put it back into the economy, what happens with the manufacturers in this country? Well, they expand. They hire more people. More products are made. We're going to see an economic renaissance that no one has ever seen in their lifetime. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.